Well, I actually don't know why in my introduction I forgot to say a very important point that you had an honor to dress the President of the Republic of Kenya. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of Adventures in Business. This is Influencer TV Kenya, and my name is Joan Moneki. Well, today we have a very special guest with us who is revolutionizing the fashion business in Kenya and beyond. From dressing high-profile figures to redefining suits into elegance. Ashok Sunny, the visionary behind Ashok Sunny Tailored Limited. And just join me so that we can dive into his journey today and get to know what exactly sparked the ideas of this business. Welcome. Ashok.
Yes.
Habari.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, feel at home.
Thank you.
Kuna juice, sisi sio wachoyo. You can drink it anytime you feel like doing it.
Thank you.
So welcome so much.
Thank you.
Well, without wasting any time, I would want us to go deep into your story. We really want to know how you got where you are because you're a successful man. And our aim is to elevate somebody else's business, growth, and skills. So maybe we can start by you introducing yourself to the audience.
My name is Ashok Sunny. I'm the founder and creative director at a place called Ashok Sunny Tailored Limited. We basically do high-end bespoke menswear clothing. And we are basically a Kenyan brand that has grown for the past decade plus one. Yes.
Well, I actually don't know why in my introduction I forgot to say a very important point that you had an honor to dress the President of the Republic of Kenya on William Samoei Ruto. And let's just know how this went. But before that, Ashok, we would love to know your upbringing story. Ulizaliwa wapi, ukaenda shule wapi, and
I was born in a place called Pumwani, just at Majengo, Pumwani Maternity Hospital. Majengo. It's called KJ. This is where Menja likes to call Majengo.
Okay.
Yeah, so I came from a very humble background. I went to school next in Rescos Primary School, just next to this place called Karioko. And then Aquinas High School, and then JPOT through ZTech. Yes, campus, yes.
And what course were you doing?
In JPOT, I was doing BBIT, Business Information Technology, a bachelor's in Business Information Technology.
Okay, of course, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But can you just tell us your upbringing story? Like, you just said that you came from a very humble background. Just a little bit of details, kindly.
Yeah, I'm come from a family of 4. I'm the last one. 2 sisters, 1 brother. My father died when I was very young, 6 years old, so I was raised by a single mother ever since. So my background when it comes to clothing comes from basically Kikomba. It was just exactly where we used to stay. So it's a very humbling story, but it's a very a story you can say that made me who I am today. Because coming from a humble background, you always strive to get better. So there are usually 2 places you can go to. You can either go the wrong way or the right way. So it's easier to go this other side because the area you live in, people, they're not very role models. And then people get taken away by crime and other funny stuff. But thankfully, because of my mother, she was a very strong woman. She understood that the right way is the only way. So she pushed us to that level where it's either that way or no way. So it was a very hard upbringing, but she tried her best to do, because I remember we lived in a single room for, since my father died. That was 1997. The only time I've not lived in a single room is when I moved out and started living by my own. I think that was when was going to campus. But all of us, the five of us, have steadily lived in that single room, different places, but a single room, until everyone was able to go their own ways and then try to start their own lives. So it's been a very tight ship ever since, and we're still trying to push to the next level up until now. Yes.
Okay, you mentioning Gikomba. At that point in life, is there anything you used to do about clothes, Uko?
Yeah, yeah. Basically, when I started about clothing, because I was, think was in after high school, very broke. So you just need to find ways to make money. There's no way you can go borrow money. There's no pocket money. So you need to find ways to mitigate ways to get just a shilling in the pocket. So I used to go buy clothes from bar and then sell to my friends. So it just started as something that, because our tailors there at Kikomba, so you used to take a garment, adjust it, stitch it, make it a bit nicer, and then when you wear it or you take it to someone, they buy. So you usually get 1 shilling or two. So when you go to campus now is when you realize expenses are going up.
Yeah.
And you look at it's one parent, one income, and you're 4 people. You start thinking that it's too much of a burden. So you start finding ways to be able to compensate for that gap of income because it's Nairobi. Whether you are 2 years old or 50 years old, you need money in your pocket
Yeah,
to move
true.
around. So that's when I said, let me try and see what the next level looks like. So I started with something, there's a Mr. and Miss Zitek.
Yeah.
So I did Mr. and Miss Zitek, was 2012. So I was Mr. Zitek. So you used to go to a lot of these fashion events. So you meet designers and stuff. So I picked up on one designer. His name was Tim Dafina. Tim Dafina used to do men's clothing. I used to love suits a lot. So I told Tim to show me how to start making suits, and then that's why I started my journey. So he was not very serious in terms of that kind of business. So he left me doing it until I picked it up until now. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a great story. So, at no point you actually went to school to study tailoring.
No, no, no. Because I was doing classes during the day, and then in the afternoon or in between, or when they didn't have classes, I used to go to these tailors, the local tailors that do local tailoring, because these are the guys who do proper tailoring. So I used to go to them and being able to pick one or two things every day until I got to a point where I understood how to make a proper suit from start to finish, fabric selection, design, cutting, stitching, patterns, all of these things until it becomes a full suit. And then now understanding people and what they want, the bodies and how to take measurements and all of this. So I used to do this on my spare time when I think it was most of the time was I started basically second year. So when we used to have manageable classes, sometimes you have a class in the morning, then the other class is in the afternoon. So you have a lot of time in between. So instead of wasting time in campus and doing nonsense, I used to find my way and being able to learn something different on the side because I knew in the back of my mind, I knew one day I'll want to do my own business because I'm not someone who can sit in an office and do the same thing over and over again. It's monotonous and it puts me in a cage, which I find that doesn't work for me. So I'm one person who likes to move around a lot, think a lot. I work a lot under pressure. I like pressure a lot. So I knew at the end of the day I'll have. That's why I took BBIT. The essence was business, but IT. I knew the future is IT. Even right now in the business, we're trying to integrate in tailoring technology so that we take it to the next level. So IT, I knew will help in the future, but the main core was business because I knew one day I'll start my own business because my father was a businessman, a very successful one at it. But he had his failures. That's why we struggled a lot when he left. But he was a very astute businessman. He understood how to start and build businesses. And that's I knew one day that's the point I'll be because I'll never want to go back to the slum and start struggling again. And I'll never want my mother and my children to go to have that kind of experience ever again. So I knew if it's not them, it's me to take them out of that place. Yes.
So now, since you grew up in the slums, and we know, like we've heard of several stories of watu wenye wamekuwa brought up in the slums. I mean, not even one single day you had influence from your friends wenye mliraiziwa now to do, like to get into things like crime or something like that?
To be honest, half of them are dead because of crime, and the female, most of them, by the time where I was, by the time you're doing class 8, before you get to form 1, you're already pregnant. So most of them could not go beyond high school, so they become moms. So when you meet someone of your same age, by now they have like 5 kids. They look older, like they're 10 years older than you, because they started life long time ago. And then we're in that place where you're struggling, and then you're getting a child, and then you start raising a child, then life becomes more harder because you don't have an income. Your parents are also struggling, so you added someone else in that equation. So you have to stop whatever you're doing and start feeding your child, and then your parents are getting older. You have to do that. The cycle goes round and round and round. So it becomes a cycle in life. Then you get even that child who was brought up in that way ends up in that same situation. So it's a cycle that goes round and round, generations and generations to come. So you find out that half of the people that we were with, you can't find them. Most of most of them died, were killed because of crime, or are in jail in prison for a long time. And then half of them, a few of us, are the ones who got out of that place. Because the one thing that my mother worked hard to was to bring us out of that place.
Okay.
Yes, and she was able to do that.
Okay. And this time that you were trying, when you were in school, you're still trying to find those local tailors so that you can do your things. Which are some of the challenges that you used to face at that particular time?
Basically, is you don't understand what a business is. You think a lot in terms of being a designer, because when you think about fabric, cut, style, stitching, everyone wants to be a designer. You want to be Gucci, you want to be Louis Vuitton, you want to be Tom Ford. But you don't understand that this Kenyan market is very, very different. People don't look for designers here. They look for tailors.
Yeah,
so
true.
When you build a business, you're thinking as a designer, you waste a lot of time trying to be a designer, and it doesn't sell, because people who have purchasing power don't wear designer clothes. So they wear clothes that they want to wear, workable, durable clothing that works for them in the environment that they're in. So I wasted a lot of time trying to be a designer, trying to understand how to become a designer, how to build a fashion house. And if I knew better at that time that the market wanted this and the market segmentation is different, I would have done something different. I would have done my business in a different way compared to how it has taken me longer time to get to this point. Yeah.
Well, now, because we are about to take a short break, maybe you can tell us about Ngwenye umevaa sahi. Tusikue serious sana.
This is just a simple, it's called Cortina. It's an Italian fabric. It comes from an old town in Italy. It's called Biella. It's a very small town in the countryside where most of the fabric millers are. So you find a stretch of the river. It's called River Biella. So most of these fabric millers are on that river because they use they rear a lot of sheep, because wool is gotten from sheep. And then so they rear a lot of sheep, and then they get wool from that sheep to create fabrics.
Okay.
So it's from a company called Drago. It's on that river. So they make men's fabrics for suiting. So this is Cortina. It's Super 140s wool. So it's just a simple suit. For suits, you don't have a lot of variation in terms of style and stitch. It's basically just fabric and your preference in terms of the quality of fabric that you want.
So how much if my boss wants to purchase this, or
This will cost
somebody
you
else?
around $1,200. Yes.
Okay, well, that's fine. Thank you so much, because I know you're still following up on the journey of Ashok Sunny Tailored Limited. And just allow us to go for a short break. And of course, we are coming back with more. We still want to know what pushed Ashok to be where he is right now. Thank you, and stay tuned.
Welcome to Prime House Interiors. We are a registered and one of the best interior design company in Kenya, celebrated for delivering stunning and exceptional interior design products and services. Our expertise include space planning, architectural drawings, 3D designs and renders, and project management for both residential and sophisticated commercial projects. With a presence that extends beyond borders, we are dedicated to bringing our distinctive touch to every space. At Prime House Interiors, we believe that the spaces where we live, work, and socialize are more than just physical environments, they are reflections of our personalities and lifestyles. We aim to transform these spaces into captivating and functional sanctuaries that enhance your well-being and inspire your daily life. In our day-to-day activities, we specialize in crafting designs that resonate with our clients' unique tastes and preferences. Every project is a partnership, and we take pride in delivering personalized solutions that blend aesthetic appeal with practical functionality. We are building lasting relationships with our clients. Founded on trust, transparency, and mutual respect, we believe the key to successful design lies in truly understanding your vision and bringing it to life with precision and creativity. With our team of experts in every aspect of design and construction, we pride ourselves on having skillful and innovative personnel who strive to stay focused on delivering outstanding results. We are committed to excellence in every detail, ensuring that each project we undertake not only meets but exceeds our clients' expectations. Our passion for creativity, combined with our dedication to quality, allows us to create spaces that are both functional and visually stunning. For more information about our products and services, call us at 0721 502 251. You can also email us at info@primehouseinteriors.co.ke. Connect with us on our social handles, Facebook, Prime House Interiors Limited, Instagram at Prime House Interiors, and on LinkedIn, Prime House Interiors Limited. Visit our website at www.primehouseinteriors.co.ke. Prime House Interiors, lifestyle to your space.
Thank you so much. We are back, and this is Influencer TV Adventures in Business. So here we just continue with the story together with Ashok, mahali tulikuwa tumeachia. Hope you enjoy. Aya, sasa moving forward, I want you to take me through the journey ya kuingia JKUAT and doing BBIT.
So first of all, even my priority was doing business, was not BBIT.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
So when you go start finding out about careers and what to do next, you come and find out that when you get those career advices, they tell you it's good to do business, yes, but add something else. So that because they're advising you in terms of thinking about your career and your resume, how it will look like in the future. So that's why I chose to do BBIT. So because where I was living, JKUAT was too far, and I just told my mom, if you start paying for me living in a different place, paying for house, paying for food and everything will be expensive on your side, why don't we just look for a place that is closer, still JKUAT, but where I can just be coming home and reduce the cost of living. So that's why we went to ZTech, because it's the next center for JKUAT. ZTech started as a center for JKUAT.
Okay.
So that's when I went to ZTech. So I did my degree for JKUAT through ZTech. Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't know that, but at least I'm getting to know it through the interview.
This thing happened way back when.
Actually, did not know that.
Now you guys are ZTech. You know ZTech as a university.
Yes.
It was a college and a center for JKUAT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now after graduating, you started this fashion thing
when I was in year 2.
Year 2. Yeah. So at what point did you open your first shop?
Okay, after finishing campus, I went to work in ZTech University.
Now, you're actually employed?
ZTech. I was employed. I started internship there. But after like 3 months, I realized that this was not something I wanted to do for the long haul, because it was an office job, day to day, doing the same thing, monotonous. So I said, let me just venture out and start my own business as early as possible. Someone is still paying my rent. Someone is still giving me food on my table. Let me start struggling now so that I can find my way in the future. So that's when I started the business. So my wife now, who was my girlfriend then, used to live in Umoja, place called Tena. It's Inako Tena. So there's a small shop. It was a kibanda. It was outside a house. So it didn't have electricity or anything, but it was a space that we could afford at that time. So we took that, got a young tailor, got machines, and started the business from there. So we had one machine for straight and one machine for overlock, and then a small table for cutting and ironing. And that's how we started the journey from there. That was slightly before graduation.
So, and how are you able to afford those machines?
My mother. So mama's in chamas. It was chama money. So she took money from my chama. She told me, okay, you're sure you want to do this? Yes, fine. So we had an agreement. If you get second upper in your second upper and above in your degree, I can give you money to start your own business. So I did attain that. So she told me, now that's what I wanted. Let me do what you wanted. So she gave me money to buy the machine and start the business. So that's why I started.
Huyo ni mzuri. Kuna wenye tuliambiwa tutanunuliwa baiskeli tukipata 350.
Tax was slightly higher at that time because it started to become a man. Because she's a woman, so she doesn't really know how to raise a man. She was finding a way, and that was give and take that you had. And she told me, okay, fine, that's the agreement. You lived up to your end of the bargain, so let's try and see.
And for how long did that shop run?
It ran until one day, I don't know who. We came in the morning, found the door, kicked in, and then machines, fabrics, even buttons. It was very clean. It was like someone is moving in now. It was a very new house.
Nairobi.
So that's when we said, okay, we've had a good run here. We've tried. Let's move on. That's when we moved to CBD now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So hiyo hata ilikuwa labda Yesu alikuwa anawaambia move.
Exactly. Then moving to CBD because it's slightly expensive. You have a smaller space. We could not do a lot, and then it burned down. So when it burned down, we had to start. So I took the business back to my room where I used to stay in a small place in Park Road. So I took the business back there. So we started again, bought machine and started again. But eventually went back to the building that burned down because they were able to innovate and then got back there. So that's where we were until 2018 is when we moved to this side of town because we came to realize also downtown is not a place you can bring clients. It's not a place that clients come easily. And if people who wear suits don't want to come to downtown every day.
Of course.
There's no parking, there's no what, they're bougie. So people want to a place they can park, a place that's a bit more comfortable, less chaotic. So we moved to that side of town, which is the upper side of town, slightly upper, not the upper. Now we are on the upper side of town.
With all these challenges that you faced, kuoshwa, kuchomewa, at no point you felt like you wanted to quit. Because mimi,
Because you see, when you live a hard life all your life, nothing phases you. You come to build a mentality where where I was yesterday is not where I want to be tomorrow. So tomorrow has to be a step further. So everything that comes your way, it's a challenge, yes, but it's a lesson. So I'm that person who knows, like I've always told you, I work under pressure. So the more harder it is, the more enjoyment I get. Yes. So that's how I persevered from that till now.
Well, I actually think I need to cut you kidogo so that I can talk to someone right there. Through the story, mahali tumefika sahi, you all can tell that business is actually not a straight line. You can go from A to Z, and then from Z to just somewhere you cannot even understand. So I mean, hizi pia ni vitu za kuvumilia, so we just go ahead, because mimi nimeshtuka.
You can get to sub-zero, then back to zero.
Nimeshtuka because of the many times you've gone to zero. Not many people can vumilia that. But anyway, moving forward, you have dressed very high-profile people. Why are you laughing?
I know where you're going with this.
Yes, and before we get to the rest, maybe tunaweza zungumzia
William Samoei Ruto.
yes.
PhD, CGH.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So actually, that's a very funny story because
Okay.
it was before COVID. I think it was 2019. So there's a guy. The guy came to a shop. He was doing a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
His name is George. So George was doing a wedding. So we started preparation for the wedding late. Was it late December? So the wedding was in March.
Okay.
So we started preparation. We ordered fabric. So fabric at that time we're getting fabric from Hong Kong. Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
So fabric was taking time to get here. So we started early. We ordered fabric. So fabric was getting to Nairobi in late January. So we started taking measurements, cutting, and everything. So by the time we're getting to the first fitting, COVID.
Oh no.
So everyone was confused. Everything went to shambles, and then the wedding was put on hold. So everything, even in the business, was put on hold. So we're trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
So George postponed his wedding indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
So in between that, between COVID and by the time COVID was happening and everything, and then they did the wedding. So we continue talking with George because we usually continue talking to our clients to know how things are going, engage them, and then also we give them more products. So one day George called me and told me, I need you to do something for my friend's father. Do you do this and this and this? So I said yes. They sent me a picture of a design, this. So they told me it has to be done very fast. So tomorrow morning we'll send a car for you, and then we'll take you there. So the next morning a car was sent, then we're taken. So that time it was Vice President William Ruto. So once you're getting to Karen and you're taking that junction,
You know.
you start knowing, and then you see the car slowing down, getting to that gate, you know, oh, okay, so it's this guy.
So kujua.
Because in the lineup, or George's lineup, there was Nick Ruto
Yes.
as a groomsman.
Mm-hmm.
So in the back of my mind, I knew somehow because he was very mysterious about it. Because he didn't tell me in the beginning who it was.
Yeah.
So we get to the residence, and then you know basically who you're going to meet. So we put in a waiting room for almost 2 hours because they were dealing with the BBI thing. That was at the BBI time.
Okay.
So he was fighting against BBI. The president wanted BBI. So there was a lot of back and forth at that time. So if you're meeting him at 11, you end up seeing him at 2. So we got to meet him. He's actually a very simple guy, not very complicated as people see him. He's not a very complicated person. He's a very simple person, but he's a very straightforward, and what he wants is what he gets. That's usually who he is. So once you get to meet him, the conversation is very straightforward. He'll ask you a question that you don't like, and you have to answer. So he looked at me and said, "Do you guys know what you're doing?"
Wow.
That's the first question he asked me. And I said, "The only way to know is when you wear the garment. That's the only way to know." Then he laughed. So that's when he took his measurements, and then we went to the other side and met Mama Ruto. That's when she was able to select fabric. It was for the first daughter's African traditional wedding. Yes, and then after that is when we were able to meet him for a second time to make a suit for him for the wedding now.
Hey.
The suit is the one that got a lot of publicity because of how we dressed it and then how we looked in it. So that's where the whole started. Yeah.
Kwa sababu ili trend.
Yes, it did, because he's
Haikuwa
a man of
kaunda.
style, and then he likes an Italian cut. So he likes a more fitted cut. He likes a more Italian cut. So it's all for him. It's all about how he looks. The image he portrays outside here is very important to him because he wants to be a very different president. And then that's why you're getting sometimes these days there's a difference of opinion with people. He wants to do things because he's a very one-minded person, and he tries to push his agenda as much as possible. He wants to do change his own way. So I think sometimes people don't agree with it, but the only thing we can do is give him time.
So, I mean, working for him, designing for him, how did that make you feel?
It was an honor because that's the highest person, the second highest person in the land at that time. it was not a small thing. Because I'm a small boy from a small, humble background, trying to make it in life and to
Okay.
get into those kind of places. It's very humbling. Hopefully now, because he's president, we want to continue doing that for a long period of time. Sometimes it's challenging because now when he's president, you're not competing with local tailors, you're competing with international tailors.
International, yes.
He's wearing Brioni and these other guys, the Italian guys. So an Italian tailor is flown in here to meet the president. The small boy from Majengo is trying to push into the same door. It's very hard, but what can we do? That's the world we live in, so we have to push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it happens again because
It will
smart.
happen again.
He
It will happen
he was
again
really
because,
smart.
because where we're going, it will happen again.
Yeah.
And he
Also
cannot
doing
avoid
a
it.
good
Whether
job.
he still be president or not,
Mhm.
the next person will have to.
Yeah.
Because I'll address presidents and presidents. That's definite.
Amen.
Yes.
And congratulations for that.
Thank you.
So now let's come to our sweethearts, Kina Njugush, Kina Phil, Karni.
Those are people I've known for the longest time.
Mhm.
I think I've known them now for the first time I met him was Njugush's wedding. Doing Njugush's wedding. It was I think 2016.
When ndo ulifanya nguo zao.
Yes.
Nice.
So those guys have known me since I was in downtown.
Mhm.
And the one thing about those guys is they're very loyal people. Once they understand where you're going, whether you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, they go with you because they've understood the journey of growth. And you see, sometimes you see people growing very fast. You don't understand how the trajectory has gone.
Okay.
But you see people growing from stage to stage, and you can see there's growth, and they understand that because you can see their growth. It's nothing. There's nothing that you can tell that they're hiding or anything. You can see the trajectory of how they're growing.
Yeah.
They are making milestones by themselves. The effort they put in and the work they put in, and then they like also to do the same, if they can, with the power they have for other people. And I'm one of those people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've only mentioned Njugush and Phil. Maybe you can mention the
It's
rest.
the whole crew.
The whole crew.
It's the whole crew. The Feel It crew.
Yeah.
Abel, Njugush, Phil, all of them. It's the whole team. Yeah.
Nice. But you really do a good job on them.
I try.
Yeah.
I try.
I've never seen anybody complain
Yeah,
for comments or something.
I try. It's a working relationship where you have to understand the next person, where they're coming from, and you put in your input, and then you come with something that makes sense.
And there is no point that you ever got a client for that or was like, no, this is not what I wanted.
That's what I'm telling you. The president and anyone else will have to recognize us because let me give you an example. The growth of stitching, where I've learned and I've come to understand up until now, there's always a next level. Even where we are now, there's a next level.
Okay, true.
For the local market, for the local people, we are the best. But remember, the local market is not the only market we want to get into. There's another market.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen the president these days. If you see the president, you see Kindiki, the vice president, you see a very big difference in terms of how they dress. But if you see the president is the body is not very small. He's a big person.
Yeah.
He has a belly. But when you see him wearing a suit, you don't see the belly. When you see Kindiki wearing a suit, you see the belly. The struggling here in terms of the button placement and everything. It's all about the cutting of the garment.
Okay.
So that cutting that the president wears, that's Italian cut. That's an Italian tailor. That kind of cutting, no one can do it here locally. I won't lie to you.
But you can. You always do it. You can't.
No. Because, yes, 2 weeks ago, I met an ambassador. So he wears the same suits as the president does now. He wears the same suit as Donald Trump and all of these guys, big guys. So the tailor is Brion. The tailor is the one that makes James Bond. So it's James Bond suits. So you see all of the James Bond suits are very, very proper. So the cut that they do, that's why their suit will cost you 800,000 to 1 million shillings, one suit. Because of that master of cutting that they have been able to achieve. No one can do it. A few people can do it in this world. But here, this small boy from Majengo is going to make that cut.
Nice.
And is going to make that kind of a suit. That's why they don't have a choice. But
to come to you.
Yes. That ambassador told me, because when we were discussing and when he was fitting our suit, he told me, this is the beginning of a suit, what you guys are doing. You're not on that level yet. You see,
Yeah.
that was not a criticism, it
Yeah.
was a compliment, because he saw that we can get to that level. And he told me, I'm not going to take this suit. Go back, make sure you know that cut, and bring back a different suit with a different cut. So there's always a next level to where you are now. So I still have a next level. I'm not even at the peak yet. So they will come back. So that's the first client who told me, but he told me in a way that he wants me to move to the next level. And there is a next level.
Wow.
Actually, when you hear tailors telling you bespoke, if you see a designer in Kenya telling you bespoke, he doesn't know what bespoke is. Bespoke is a different game. Because if someone does a bespoke suit, you'll see. But these guys are doing made to measure and custom made and calling it bespoke. It's all marketing. But I'll not sell you bespoke if I don't know what I'm doing is bespoke, because I'm doing semi bespoke. If I do 100% bespoke, it's a different game. Yeah.
Nika pia mi basi sikuwa naelewa.
It's understandable, because even me, I understood it, but I didn't know it. You're still learning every single day.
Okay.
Yes, because my tailors are locally trained. But to get to that level, you have to get to understand how these guys are doing it in a world scale. Understand why. This, because you see, the suit that is being sold $1 million, that I can get that fabric, but I cannot get that cut. So that cut is what makes that suit 1 million. You see, that suit is why you see Ruto looking sharp every time. And you ask yourself how. He can wear the same suit, the same color, but the way he looks is sharp. You can see the difference between Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto. You can see the difference between Kithure Kindiki and
Mbona hukushika nani Rigiji mkono hata wewe?
When it comes to, it's all about someone's understanding. Because when you tell someone a suit will cost you $1,000 and anakwambia hiyo ni 50 by 100 huko Mary, it's a different conversation. So it's about,
I know someone cheaper.
Yes. How does he understand the value of what I'm doing?
Yeah.
What value does it put to my craftsmanship to understand that this is why I'm charging this? It's not just about fabric. It's the craftsmanship I'm putting in, the effort I'm putting in, then the business I'm trying to grow in a third world country to be able to compete with someone in a first world country.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So it's all up, there's a lot of things that they need to understand. So you cannot, not everyone can be a client. It's a person who understands, because you cannot be educating every single client to get them from point 0 to 10.
Yeah.
You'll use a lot of effort and time, and then you'll have a lot of push and pull every time you're doing a fitting. Yes.
Sasa nimeona nimekuwa nikikunywa juice peke yangu.
Nimekunywa juice one karibu isha.
Ni vizuri ukisip as we go into the next. Well, the next because we've basically heard whatever we wanted to know, and I know your story has inspired somebody out there.
So. That's
yeah, of course, tukimaliza, I'll ask you to tell them something. But right now, let me just ask you a few fun questions. What is one thing that you cannot stop buying?
That's basically fabric. I like buying a lot of fabric because I like to make a lot of clothes. I make a lot of clothes. I think that's one problem I have. Yes. And cars.
And cars.
Yes, I don't have many, but I have a problem with them.
Okay. Ukilipwa bilioni kama 50 billion ukate nywele. Will you do that?
Yeah, because it will grow back. 50 billion you don't get every day.
What?
Hair will grow.
Okay, yes. Nice.
Yes.
The highest pesa ya suti ushai charge?
250,000 Kenyan shillings.
One suit?
Yes. But you see, for us, these days, we don't just sell single suits, we sell packages.
Okay.
So we create wardrobe packages. So the most expensive wardrobe package we have is 1.5 million. So we create wardrobe packages because because business is all about solving problems. So you can realize our clients have a lot of problems when it comes to creating their own wardrobe and style. So we do that. So we create your own wardrobe and style. And that's why we have those packages.
So kabisa like you just selling packages?
No. If you want a single suit, because if you come at entry level, you want to try out our cut and style, we do that. But after that, we end up making your package so that you don't have to buy clothes every time. You get? So we come to understand who you are. This is Joanne, we come to understand who you are, what you do, and how your wardrobe looks like. So we work with what you have and then we tweak it a bit and add more things. We have a whole wardrobe. So once you do that, You have a full wardrobe for a whole year. You don't have to buy clothes anymore.
Okay, given a chance to leave your business and go abroad and start something totally new, would
I
you?
want to be a football manager.
Wow.
Because of the pressure. I like pressure a lot. So once you become a football manager, once you come to understand that it's managing people and then coming up with new ways to beat the next person, that is something that intrigues me a lot.
Wow, interesting. I think those are the only fun questions I had for you. So right now, I would love you to look at the camera and tell somebody something. Maybe somebody wants to measure into their fashion business. They don't know where to start. They started but they feel stuck, just something of that sort. Maybe you can just tell them something.
So one thing I've come to learn about business, which is the business of fashion, we have a lot of talent in terms of making garments, sketches, designs, and all of these things. But one thing that people do not understand when it comes to business or fashion in Kenya is creating the business itself, which includes marketing, administration, all of these things. You have to find someone who's doing it already, learn from them and see how they're doing it, and then go do your own. Don't start a business off. You come from campus, you graduate, start a business, then learn from someone before you start a business, because you'll understand a lot. If I had that path now, it will have taken me not 10 years, but 5. So always find someone who's doing what you do, learn from them, and then create your own. Yes.
Great. And if they actually want to find you and make orders, can you tell them where to get you?
Yeah, social media is the easiest way to find me. So everywhere it's Ashok Sunny on all platforms. But also you can send me an email at mastertailor@ashoksunny.net. Yes.
Hizo tu.
Yes.
Hauko Twitter.
No, it's too much work.
Utaki extra pressure.
No, it's too much work. You invest a lot of time engaging in conversations that do not help.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I think we've come to an end of this interview. And we really appreciate. And I just want to say that your story, I just didn't so much about it. So personally, I'm inspired because I love business. I love fashion. Sorry, I love fashion as well. And maybe I'll work on something after this.
No problem.
Ama nikufuate nikuongeleshe because you said we need someone to talk to. But thank you guys for staying with us and listening to the story of Ashok and how he has become successful in the bespoke designing industry. So as we close this, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, which goes by the name Influencer TV Kenya, and follow us on all of our social media platforms, still at Influencer TV Kenya. Thank you so much on this. See you next time.